One of the coolest things, and it may be different for other people, one of the coolest things for me when I ticked past 30, other than be like, oh my gosh, death is coming. So, I'm the Bald A-Hole here. Thank you very much for joining me on a Sunday. Isn't it just nice to be here on a Sunday? That's the worst intro I've ever done. It's the Q&A episode. Thank you very much for sending in all your questions. I appreciate it. As you kind of seen from the title, we start with a little bit of doom and gloom. Because Bobby Extreme says, how are you coping with no gym now the UK lockdown is back? It's a fair question. It's a true question. If you don't know, yep, we're all locked down. Probably going to be locked down till, well, I think the end of March, given what the government has said. And it is very, very difficult. As I've mentioned in other videos that we've done, health and safety first. I know everyone's got a different opinion. You can just argue about it till the cows come home. It is what it is. But it is a struggle. And mentally, I think this is probably the hardest one. Because when the first one came in, it was a shock to the system and it absolutely sucked. I don't want to say there was a novelty to it, but your emotions were kind of hitting on so many levels. Like, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? And then the second one came in and it wasn't as long. So that's how you mentally dealt with this one. But now for a third time, especially after we got told it will be over by Christmas, which was our nonsense to begin with, then you start thinking, are we going to get another one? I mean, let's say it does go on to the end of the March. That's like a quarter of a year. That's a huge period of time. And I just don't like lifting weights on my floor with my 32s. We've got a vlog going up next week. People wanted to see the home workout. I'm just putting it together at the moment. It was meant to go up this week, blah, blah, boring. But yeah, it's difficult. It sucks. The exception to my rule about going to the gym and doing what you love is I don't massively like doing it in my house. I don't live in a very big building. I think what I've learnt over the last 12 months is that I need a bigger place for both my job and for things like this, but that's neither here nor there. All you can do is take things day by day. It's the same as in your real life. If you're worried about something or you're anxious or you're apprehensive, there's nothing you can really do to control those emotions other than take a step back, live in the moment, really try and zone in on the actual thing that's happening in your life right now. Again, just live in the moment, like I say. And we just have to hope that eventually we can get back to the gym. And of course, when we do, everything will go back to normal. But no, it is very difficult. It also kind of affects the channel too. Because again, I had all these outside videos I wanted to record and now I can't do them because nothing's open. It is what it is. And Marcus says, I benched 100 kilograms yesterday, but I still don't have a girlfriend. How strong did you have to get until your girlfriend appeared? Well, I did a 120 kilogram bench press and then poof, she just appeared from magic and she said, will you go out with me? And I said, you bet your ass. Imagine it did work like that. Don't tie in strength to getting women or men or whatever your personal preference is. That doesn't even matter. Just lift weights for you. Even if you do a 20 kilogram bench press today, that's good for you. If you smash it on 8 reps, and 8th rep you're really, really struggling, if anyone else comes up to you and goes, 20 kilograms is a pathetic weight, they're a pathetic human being. Carlos says, how many pounds did Gerald the fitness mascot gain during the holidays? And then Merry Christmas, Bald A-Hole, because the questions went up the way. I just realized his back's the camera. What a piece of trash he is. Gerald doesn't put on any weight. Gerald is the fitness mascot. Whatever you deem to be the perfect way to approach the gym and do a workout routine, Gerald is doing it. Mama Swole says, what advice would you give your past self? Oh man, actually, no, I do kind of know this, but it's kind of information that I wouldn't even understand if I did go back in time and give my information to this past self, because it would just be to figure out who you are and be proud of who you are, and then just go and do the shib that you want to do, right? Because I think one of the coolest things, and it may be different for other people, one of the coolest things for me when I ticked past 30, other than be like, oh my gosh, death is coming, one of the coolest things I thought when I ticked past 30 was, you know what? I like doing these things. I don't like doing these things. And if anybody else has a problem with it, or anybody else cares, or anyone else is going to give me grief about it, I don't give two hoots. And that wasn't the case in my 20s at all. The example that we talked about before is I was so worried about what other people were going to think about me not drinking. I'm not an alcohol dude. I never was. And it used to give me real bad anxiety. And then honestly, I got to like 31 and I was like, who cares? Who cares if Brian from The Office is so worked up that I don't drink? I'm going to let that be Brian's problem. And I'm just going to live my life. And it's difficult because, again, if I went and told my 20-year-old self that, I would still have to go through that decade of doing it because you only learn via experience. So it's almost like the one of the best phrases ever is youth is wasted on the young. And basically what that means is that, being young is great, but you're only going to realize it's great once you've grown up and you look back and go, oh my gosh, it was great. So youth is wasted on the young. And it's the same thing here, but I don't know if that's something you could try and teach yourself, but yeah, just knowing who you are and accepting who you are and being comfortable in your own skin. That's what I would say. You are fine the way you are. Be comfortable in your own skin. John Smith says, I've got a two-part question for you. You do push-pull legs twice a week. Do you change the muscle groups you first work out? Like push 1 is chest, shoulders, and push 2 is shoulders, chest. No, I do change up the exercises. but I like the way it works. I kind of do it based on what I assume secondary muscles will be. So yeah, on push day, I always go chest, shoulders, tricep, and on pull day, I always go back, biceps. You can change it up. It doesn't really matter. But in my head, the chest is a bigger muscle group than the deltoid. That may not even be true now I think about it, but that's how I like doing it. But I will change the exercises. So if I do push on a Monday, and then I'm doing it again on a Thursday or Friday or whatever, I may do a dumbbell day and I may do a barbell day, right? Just to keep things changing up. Jose says, favorite type of workout split and what do you recommend for intermediate lifters? Well, that ties into the previous question. Push, pull, legs twice a week or push, pull, legs, rest. Even if you're an intermediate lifter, well, as soon as you're no longer a beginner, train your muscle groups twice a week. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The best thing, no word of a lie, I ever took on when it comes to lifting weights. Hickory Dickory ran up the clock. Can't remember how it goes. He says, if you had to give up gaming, gym, or wrestling, in what order would you be willing to give them up? It's a good question, but I can actually answer it quite easily. Gaming would be the first thing that I give up. Not that I would be happy to, but I just don't get that much time to play anymore, which sucks. I always make sure I carve out a few minutes here and there, but it's something that means I could give up now and it wouldn't be too easily. And then next, and this is very, very close, but it would be wrestling. Now, I love wrestling. I love watching it. I love doing it. I miss it desperately. But I don't think I'd be able to enjoy it as much if I didn't go to the gym. The gym is my foundation of my entire life, which sounds stupid. But without the gym, I don't think I would have found success in other areas in my professional and personal world, because again, it's my rock, it's my foundation. Everything that I've learned starts there, and it's my happy place, it's my safe zone. It's hence going back to the first question, why it sucks when they close the gym, because it's not the same doing it in your house. You go somewhere and you utterly switch off, and without that, I'd probably go loony. I really, really would. So I think it would probably be that. Shazad says, Simon, I was at EGX a few years ago where you spoke on Just Cause 4. Are you looking to be hosting more things soon? You smashed it there. Stay blessed. Well, that's very kind. That was so hard. So yeah, in my other life, other world, other professional jobs, I am a freelance guy, so I do a lot of hosting work. I absolutely love it. I like the feeling of being live, no net and everything like that. And EGX is a gaming expo over here in America, for those that don't know. And Square Enix ran me up and said, Simon, do you want to come host our Just Cause 4 stage for all 4 days? By the end of it, I had no voice left. I had absolutely no voice left because I like to put myself into it. My word, do I miss those opportunities. Like I had quite a few in 2020. Obviously, they got killed for obvious reasons. And I'm hoping when the pandemic does go away and the world opens back up, there will be more. But absolutely, if you're watching this and you want a bald idiot to host your stuff, hopefully I'll do a good job. That's a very nice recommendation, so I appreciate it. But yes, I am desperate to get more of those again. Michael says, what is the fine line of being too sore to work out from the previous workout for that muscle group and being good to go? Well, I mean, if you take what DOMS is, delayed onset muscle soreness, your muscle is probably still aching because it's still broken down. I don't really think there is a black and white solution to this. Like if you're a beginner and you go and do a circuit workout, you're going to be hurting for a good couple of weeks. So it probably just makes more sense after a couple of days to go again. And actually, sometimes working out can get rid of your DOMS. It's a very strange thing. But only you can know that. Again, another great piece of advice is just listen to your body. Like if your arm hurts, well, don't do that kind of stuff with your arm. Then go to a doctor and get it sorted out. But if you really feel like your chest is on fire, then you probably are going to benefit more from either working something else or just having a rest and letting your body recover. Because don't forget, when you recover, you're going to grow. But on other times, it may kind of be that 50-50 region and you will benefit from a workout. I'm not going to pretend there's a fast rule with this, because there's not a hard rule with this, because there's not. Just take it day by day, see how you goes, and if nothing else, if you have smashed a workout so bad that you're that sore, pat yourself on the back. Dance Master TV, amazing, I'll tune in. Says, hey Simon, I know that muscle memory is a thing, so getting muscle back after a layoff is faster, but is that true with strength also? I've noticed my size generally comes back faster than my strength. Yeah, it's all true. Your body's going to be unique to you, as we talked about before. But all muscle memory is as you start lifting weights, your brain goes, oh, I know what you want me to do because you've taught me. You've basically educated it. I will now kick things into gear like I did before. And because you have been that size, you can get back to that size. You know, it's almost like you're not making new gains technically, right? You're just redoing old gains. And so some people's strength will come back first, some people's size will come back first. It all depends. But it will always be faster than it was the first time you did it. It just will. That's just how it works. Ryan Hoover says, hey Simon, love the show and always watch your ups and downs. Thanks, man. What are your 5 keys to a successful workout plan? Consistency is number one. If you're consistent with it, even if you're not that intense, you'll do all right. But number two would be intensity. Those two things together will get you where you want to go to a certain extent. Be intense and be consistent. Enjoy it. Otherwise, you're going to give it up. Make sure you're eating foods that you actually enjoy, because no one sticks to a diet if they're eating crap all the time. Why the hell would you? And the fifth one would probably be to change things up when you know it's appropriate. That's not really a key, is it? But you get two kinds of people. People that change things within a day because it didn't work out, and then people that go a year and go, I'm not seeing gains anymore. Why not? So finding that sweet spot is really important. But yeah, if you're intense and you keep on going to the gym and you keep on smashing away, like I say, 9 times out of 10, you do actually reach your fitness goals in the fitness palace of love. Coolio says, how hard was it when you first started YouTube? I've had thoughts on doing it for fun, but I'm worried I would get nothing out of it. Well, dude, I tell you this, man, I've been doing YouTube for flipping ages. I wanted to do YouTube before even PewDiePie was a thing. I'm not saying if I had done it, I would have been as big as PewDiePie, but I worked for a video game publisher, a magazine publisher, and I was like, we should do this, we should do this. They didn't see the worth in it, which is fine, it's their company. But really, I've been 10 years, now that we're in 2021, 10 years. I was sort of in my late teens or early 20s when I decided I wanted to do it. And there's a bunch of crap with me on the internet that's really bad, but I leave it out there because it's good to see how far you've come and see how far you've evolved. But this goes back to lifting weights too. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to enjoy it. Even now, where I am, I'm not a big YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination. I'm lucky that between this and What Culture and a bunch of other freelance projects I have, that I'm able to make a living out of it. It is a lot of hard work, but that's cool. It's fun work at the same time. But to get to sort of that precipice that's just nuts, like a PewDiePie or a KSI or whoever the hell, a Greg Doucette, if you want to tie it into this, I mean, I'm nowhere near. I'm just nowhere near. To get those consistently, well, I always say over 100,000 views, you're in that mid-range YouTuber, and then you get the ones that go over 1 million views, which are just in the stratosphere. But if you love it, it doesn't matter. Like the channel this year, or last year, for example, got some great momentum, then it kind of backed off a little bit, which often happens in YouTube. And I could have just given it up and gone, okay, I've had my time in the sun. But you don't. You take a step back and you're like, I'm passionate about this. What do I do now to get back to where that I was? And I'll continually doing that. And I suppose that ties into my personality too. But if you really, really enjoy it, just start doing it. And I bet you see the worth eventually. Max says, or Max Gash, unbelievable. Says, hi, Simon. Big fan. Thanks. What advice would you give someone who's starting to take dieting seriously? Keep up the great content. We kind of just mentioned it. Be consistent and get foods into that diet that you like that are also healthy. That's all you've got to do. There are some things you can eat that people would go, well, that doesn't sound very healthy, but it is. You don't just have to eat green and white, green and white, green and white, broccoli, chicken, broccoli, chicken, broccoli, chicken. And we finish with Bobby, another Bobby, who says, how old were you when you decided to shave your head? I'm 37 and my hair is thinning a little. I'm thinking about shaving myself. Well, you're 37. I would just shave it. Past 35, who cares what you do with your hair? I had to shave mine in my late 20s. I got to like 27, 28-ish. And it was just at the point where I probably could have got away with it for maybe 6 months, 12 months, but I was like, it's going to happen. I kept noticing it in the mirror that it was thinning and thinning. I even got a hairdresser to try and sort it out. And don't get me wrong, I do get it. It bothered me for ages. I've told this story before. My girlfriend at the time, poor lady, just got all the time, is it worse, is it worse, is it worse? Like every 3 seconds, like, no, your hair can't get worse in 3 seconds. But you build these things up in your mind. And as soon as I had done it, after a few weeks, I was like, well, this is just what I do now. I got used to my face. And that's that. It's got to the point now when people see me with hair, they think I'm some kind of alien version of myself. Little spoiler for you, I am not. There you go. Thank you very much for the questions as always. We will do another one at the start of next month. I always do appreciate it. And thank you very much for your support constantly. And I like the video, share the video. Please do hit subscribe. That's the magic number talking about YouTube and views. Obviously, they work hand in hand. Hit the bell, ding, ding. That's where you know other videos are going live. Another video right there. You can click it should you so want. Twitter and Instagram at SimonMiller316. Simon.bigcartel.com for merchandise. Patreon.com/Simon316. If you do want to support all my stuff financially, that would be great. It's all in the description down there. Otherwise, you take care, and I'll see you soon.